even with my belief in God, I'm not going to heaven.
Why?
Because Jesus Christ isn't my Lord and Savior.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, you're out.
Which is insane.
Which is insane.
It's so insane. We'll talk about it some other time.
Yeah, it's a hard pill to swallow.
It's not a pill that I will ever swallow, so it doesn't even exist.
Yeah, fair enough.
There's some things that we definitely need to talk about, don't we? And if you disagree with that, I mean, look around. Look at the state of the world today. And I'm not talking about the chaos. I'm just talking about the way people see their expectation. The people's expectation. What does it even mean to say you follow Jesus? What's that even mean? If you asked a person, or if there was two people, say, and they were both good people, they didn't steal, they didn't lie, they didn't cheat, they were a good husband, a good wife, friend, brother, but one is a Christian who says that they accepted Jesus into their heart as their personal Lord and Savior. And then you got the other person who does not, who says, yeah, they believe in God or whatever. But so how is this going down? This is let's be honest. I mean, we seriously need to talk about this, especially if this is something, if this is the way you see your expectation. How is this going down? Is Jesus, the Messiah, is he going to look down and say, and pick and choose between those two people? Both of them being equally as good-hearted people, loyal, trustworthy. They didn't cheat, they didn't lie, they didn't steal, but one of them said some words. And so what does it boil down to? And I know the Christians are going to say, well, no, because if you're saved, you lead a life following after Christ, right? And the other person might not. And is that the argument? Okay, so let's look at what it means to do what the Christian does that separates him or her from the person who doesn't do that. Let's examine that for a second. It'll only take a few minutes of your time. The Christian who says they're going to heaven and that because they've accepted him into their heart and they're a Christian now. They go to church and they pray, they say they have a personal relationship with the Messiah. And they're going to heaven, and the person who doesn't do that, they say, is going to hell. So the Messiah, is this how you envision this happening? The Messiah is going to judge between those two people, and based on the Christian having said they accepted him and now they started to live a Christian life. Now they are accepted into the kingdom, but the other person is not. That's how the Christians see this going down. Okay, so a Christian goes to church. They're supposed to follow after Christ, right? They say. And they go to church. They might go twice on Sunday and once on Wednesday, huh? And is his name spoke there? Is the truth about him spoke at those places? Okay. Are you doing what Jesus would do by going to church twice on Sunday and once on Wednesday and paying your tithes? Are you paying your tithes and giving offering to a church that doesn't speak his name, but they speak names of blasphemy and they celebrate Babylon holidays? They say it's for the Most High, that they celebrate the birth of Jesus and everything, but it's wrapped in Babylon. It's like putting lipstick on a swine's behind. So that's following the Messiah. So why does it say all through the prophets, all over the place, that he's going to gather those who grieve over the appointed times? What about that? Is that invalid now? So the appointed times and coming in and coming out, that doesn't matter anymore? The only thing that matters, the only thing that separates a person from living or dying, is you saying some words, but your actions are not so much. You say you live for the Lord, but okay, do you celebrate the feast days like the Most High wants you to do? Do you do it? Do you follow, as your desire to do the will and desire of the Most High? Is his will and desire for you to celebrate Babylonian gods, Jesus, is his desire for you to never really speak the truth, just enough to make everyone happy and feel good, and just keep rocking out in Babylon, and no progress, no growth ever is accomplished? Is that following after the Messiah? So he's going to choose them people over someone who, they're good people. They say they believe, but they ain't doing what the Christians would do. That's just ridiculous, isn't it? So I'm here to tell you that all those words in the prophets, they are valid. He told us, and the Messiah told us, that following the Lamb means coming in and coming out of an actual place on the earth to celebrate and to engage in a relationship with him. He told us in this Revelations that we've been reading that in the end, it's going to come down to people who are engaged in a loving, committed relationship to the Most High, and those who talk a lot of talk. He didn't say that it was people who didn't talk a lot of talk. He didn't say it was the people who just altogether just cursed him. He tells us all through the word. It's people, all these people are saying that he's their Most High and that they love him, but their hearts are far from him. He tells us that over and over. And wouldn't you know that these guys right here, this Albert Pike, the Freemasons, the Knights Templar, the I don't want to say too many, but you should know. If you're here listening to me, you know who those guys are. They knew that in the end they would create in society a bunch of softer than medicated cotton pushovers when it comes to this word. They got a name for it. It's deistic spirits. Let's read about it. Let me read this again to you, this bottom paragraph, because this is so huge. This will explain to you what's going on, a little of it, This third paragraph here, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit for you. The Third World War must be fomented by taking advantage of the differences caused by the agentur of the Illuminati. Now don't let that name just scare you off. This ain't conspiracy. You're going to see the reality here in just a moment. Between the political Zionist and the leaders of Islamic world. Okay? So it's going to be fomented. WW3 is going to be fomented by taking advantage of the differences caused. There was no differences. The agentur of those guys caused differences between who? Between the political Zionists and the leaders of the Islamic world. Any idea what he's talking about? This Albert Pike? Does he have any idea? Yeah. The war must be conducted in such a way that Islam, that right there, and political Zionism, the state of Israel, mutually destroy each other. Meanwhile, the nations, now see, listen, if you go back up here and read in chapter 1 and chapter 2, it explains how they would create the state of Israel. And we'll read it, but just for conversation's sake, right now, where we are in this point of the conversation, they created it so they could do this down here in WW3. When I told you that the sign of the flying scroll happened, that it happened. Them guys were waiting for it. They made that happen. And when I tell you that they are taking them their own selves out and not to lunch, they're committing, well, that's what's happening. It's not gonna stop. But what do we have? We have a world full of Christians. Let's just talk about them for a second, because that's who I primarily interact with, is Christians. And I got nothing wrong, you know what I mean? I'm not knocking on anybody right here. I'm just talking about the facts, reality. The Christians right now, the whole world of Christians, however many there are, billions, they are hoping and praying. They believe that nobody can even touch those guys, and you better not touch them. And these guys sending their little rockets over, they're going to be wiped off the map because they touched them. And nothing can ever happen to them guys. They're going to get the borders the way they want them. They're going to wipe Gaza out the way they want to. That's what they're thinking. And that might happen, The Most High told us it would be uninhabited. But little do they know, that place they know for a fact is going to succeed and rule and reign over everyone. Little do they know that those very people are taking themselves out. You see what kind of trick, a nasty trick they've pulled upon the people? Do you see? Look, they're going to destroy each other, okay? The state of Israel mutually destroy each other. Meanwhile, The other nations, once more divided on this issue, will be constrained to fight to the point of complete physical, moral, spiritual, and economical exhaustion. We shall unleash the nihilist and the atheist. So you have to understand, you just seen it destroy each other, and it's gonna happen. And the Bible tells us it's gonna happen all through the Bible. That the crowning city that rules and reigns right now, that says I am her, I'm not aware, all that stuff, all of it. That place is taking itself out. You don't have to worry about who's taking it out. They are gonna. This is in the plans. This is something that they feel has to be done. In order for their plan to work, this is what has to be done. They're going to unleash the nihilist and the atheist, and we shall provoke a formidable social cataclysm, which, in all its horror, do you think that's what's happening right now? And you've been sitting there, all these Christians are probably been scratching their head this whole time wondering, man, why are they just bombing? And they're still defending it. They're trying to find ways to make excuses for what they're doing. And I know they have to know better. They have to see them little babies being starved and bombed and all this stuff. They know it ain't right. They know it ain't. But they're so blinded because they haven't picked up the word, because, they're Christians. Like you see these TikToks where they say, I'm a whatever. I don't do this. I can see Christians making a TikTok like that, saying, yeah, I'm a Christian. I don't read the Bible. I'll see you at church and I'll have the best looking outfit on you ever seen in your life, though. And my whip is going to be waxed up and shining, and it'll turn every head in the building, in the parking lot, when I pull in. And they'll see how much money I put in the offering plate. And we'll sing and we'll dance. And we'll celebrate all the things the Most High told us not to. And we'll call him names he told us not to, that the word tells us are names of blasphemy. But we're Christians. We ain't read that much of the word. We know the gist. We know the names of the books, and we can pull out numbers and stuff. But we ain't never just sat down and taken it from the top, suited and booted, Berean style. That's what's happening right now. All that social cataclysm is being done not on the backs of these Christians, but on the on the lack of brains, I guess. I don't know, or just what it is the lack of faith, the lack of trustworthiness, the lack of care. They got no cares. They give no cares about this, really. It's all for the wrong reasons. It's all for pride. It's that fruit of the tree, pride. And so they all this that's going down and that's about to go down is getting whipped up because they got suckered. And most of them, a lot of them, I can tell, are going along with it for the moolah, baby, and for something, for the clout, whatever it is. It's not right, whatever it is. So they're gonna make a formidable social cataclysm, which in all its horror will show clearly to the nations the effect of absolute atheism, origin of savagery, and of the most bloody turmoil. That's what they're doing. That's why it's on camera. Sure, they kick Al Jazeera out and stuff out of the, out of there, but all that's just for show. They're building the greatest case against themselves that has ever been for being psychopaths, psychopathic, genocidal maniacs. I mean, it's easy for everyone to see, but for some reason, these Christians, they don't care. It is what it is, I guess. And so that's what Christianity is creating. That's why I'm not saying everybody, but on is the majority of Christians that I hear from or see, interact with, or hear their reasoning. It's what you've seen in the beginning of this video. It's, you know, that's not far off. I mean, that's what they all say and believe. I know. Then, everywhere, the citizens obliged to defend themselves against the world minority of revolutionaries. And see, what's going to happen is all these people from the outside who really ain't, they got dogs in the race, but not like Christians and Muslims do. Christians and Muslims, they've got the two main dogs running this race. The people on the outside are going to say, look here what these ones have done over this. And they've allowed to happen, and because of all the whoring that's been going on. The merchants, all this stuff. They will exterminate those destroyers of civilization. And the multitude, disillusioned with Christianity, disillusioned, see, when all their little fantasies don't come true that they've been telling everybody, don't come true. Why would the Most High go through all the trouble to get us to our home and tell us all about how we are to come in and come out and the whole word? Why would he say that in the end someone would be on the mountains raising the banner telling everyone to come home? Why would he say that if it wasn't going to happen? See, the Most High's not the one who's disillusioned here. It's these frauds who are being exposed right now in this last hour. The skirt's getting lifted. The beard's getting shaved, the legs, everything. We see it all. And we also, too, though, this is the best part. We also can see you just turn around, do a 180, just stop. Just because you've done it this far, up to this point, doesn't mean you have to continue on in that. This is where humility comes in. Just turn around and leave it be. You don't have to take a pledge to that place. You don't have to, you know what I mean? You haven't sworn an oath, or have you? Have you sworn an oath to a place that regardless, that you're going to love them unconditionally, regardless of whether they're genocidal maniacs? I mean, I've said it for a long time. I don't want nothing to do with no genocidal maniacs. And if I thought that that's what the Most High was wanting me to do, I would have been out a long time ago. This is all what the Messiah would do, what the Lamb would do, is not what the world of Christians is doing right now. They wouldn't be proclaiming, you know, what it would be like. It would be like those people when Messiah was impaled. It would have been like the people who were okay with the whatever government of Israel back then, you know, the guys in charge. It would have been like the normal citizens, Christians, if you would have, you know, just the normal believers. It would have been okay. It would have been like them being okay with what happened to the Messiah, because it's Israel, because that's God's holy people. No, you see how this is an error unlike any other. That's why it's happening this way. That's why it's on camera, because they're taking themselves out. And the more you support this place and cheerlead it, the more exposed you are for a fraud. And I hate to say that, but that's just the truth. If you can't denounce something or some people when they're clearly going against what the Most High wants in such a vicious and in inhumane way, then you see that's how this end is happening. Everyone's getting sucked down that toilet bowl because they're not reading. They don't care. They got no cares. As long as all they really want is for stuff to go back to normal so they can just keep doing what they're doing. Well, the end don't happen that way, does it? It tells us that it's a dramatic change that we experience. This world does. That we're about to go through. We already have, but we're about to go through a drastic, severe transition. And what you're trying to hold on to right now, it ain't, you know yourself, the word, the Most High tells you it's on its way out. But they even tell you they're taking themselves out right here in all kinds of documents. You can find the proof everywhere. And the word is loaded with it. Disillusioned. So, and the multitude, disillusioned with Christianity, whose deistic spirits will from that moment be without compass or direction. Deistic spirits means they really never had any intentions on putting any faith into action, actually doing anything. If a deistic spirit would be if when Messiah came to Peter and them and they were in the boat and he said, "Follow me, I'll make you fishers of men." Deistic spirits would have said, "Nah, that's crazy. No, I'm not getting, no, man, are you crazy? I got to make this money. I got at 4 o'clock, I got to be here. I got to do this. I got to do that. My wife will kill me. I can't do that. You crazy? I'm just walk off with you? Okay. Yeah, right. Get out of here, buddy." And I know that the Christians today don't think that they would do that, but that's what they're doing right now. Do you see how the coming of the son of Adam works? It's not, you ain't going to see a meteor in the sky, my friend. He's here. It's right now. The word is telling you to get out of the boat and follow him. Now, what are you going to do? What you going to do? Is saying some words and just continuing on, being that type of person who wouldn't get out of the boat, is that being saved? So you're in, but someone else who ain't accepted him and did all that, they probably don't celebrate those holidays, but they'd get out of the boat. The world has a rude awakening. This is just more evidence, all the more evidence of how we're going to get to that point of where there's weeping and gnashing of teeth. And all those people saying, "Lord, Lord, oh, didn't we? But we did this." And yeah, what did you do? You talked a bunch of blasphemous talk. That's all you did. You didn't walk after him. We can't live our life thinking that we're covered in the blood of the Lamb when we don't even know nothing about the Lamb. We don't want to know nothing about the Lamb. We eat it, yeah. We'll eat it every day. You give it to us. This world, man, it's softer than medicated cotton, I tell you. So, whose deistic spirits will from that moment be without compass or direction, anxious for an ideal, but without knowing where to render its adoration, will receive the true light through the universal manifestation of the pure doctrine of Lucifer. It's a setup, you guys. That whole thing I told you, this is the congregation of Satan. The Messiah told us in the end. He's giving them up, baby. And you best get on the right side of history. The right side of town. The right town. Brought finally out in the public view, this manifestation will result from the general reactionary movement, which will follow the destruction of Christianity and atheism, both conquered and exterminated at the same time. And you know how the atheism is going to get exterminated? How I believe it would be exterminated? And their plan, how they plan to do that? Because once these Christians who are weaker than puppy piss, who are deistic, who ain't getting out the boat. So when Messiah leaves and says, okay, well, see you guys later, and he leaves, and then an hour later, Satan pulls up with the bag. And he says, hey guys, come with me. Look at all this cash I got. They be out in the middle of, they're swimming to the shore. These people today, who they're playing like a fiddle right now. Like, just think about it. Like, you've seen the movie Civil War, okay? Look at the setup, how this is being set up for that to take place here in this country. If on July 11th, if they happen, I ain't saying they're going to, but if they lock Trump up, just imagine what it's going to do. And that's probably the plan. I mean, if that happens, I guarantee you that was the plan. And they're probably going to amp everybody up. Both Fox will be amping them people up, and it's going to be crazy. And it's these Christians who are been praying, they've been hoping that Trump was going to save the day, right? If he goes to jail, then it's over. They don't have what are they going to do if he can't, if he can't be the president, or if he died or whatever? Now what? Now who are you going to turn to? When the Most High has been sitting here this whole time, his word sitting here, right here, the whole time. These Christians who are following after Trump and stuff, if something happens to him, and I ain't saying that it would, but I'm saying if it does, if he goes to jail, well, you see, they're going to have no one to turn to. So they're planning on priming you guys up, playing you like a fiddle, all these Christians, into a point where you're going to know that all that crap you were supporting and proclaiming wasn't what the word said, and it was false. And a lot of these Christians are going to just say to hell with all of it, all together, and they'll go with this Lucifer. I mean, he proceeds or prances around like an angel of light. I'm sure it's going to be dolled up for him. It'll be nice and pretty, and they'll go with it because there was no foundation. They never had that foundation of the instructions, of the commandments, the Torah, what we're supposed to do, his desire, these feast days. When we come in and come out, that's why there's the power is when you come in and come out. Because when we come in and come out, that's what we do. We're doing what the Most High does. We ain't with all this nonsense, out here in the world. We don't lose. We win every time. When we're out here with Donald Trump and all this other nonsense, we're bound to have the rug pulled out from underneath of us. That's why it's always best to just only support one candidate, Yahuwah, and that's it. They're going to destroy it. So atheism, when Christianity just goes along with Luciferianism and whatever atheists do too, see, look, the Luciferianism, though, they'll probably force you to bow down and worship him, or they'll kill you. So that's how atheism and Christianity will be taken out. The destruction of Christianity and atheism, both conquered and exterminated at the same time. There'll be nothing left. And that's what the enemy wants. That's what Satan's whole goal is. He's been let out the cage to do this, to succor all those who are posing. It's like a cleansing process. It is, and it's not the Most High getting rid of anybody. It's just everybody that really hates the Most High is just going to take their own selves out. It's going to be that. It'll be the end of that. Now, in case you needed a little bit more, just a little more proof, hey, why not? Of that place over there being a straight up lie, I found this article today. It was put out, it's by Lifestyle, I guess, and it was put out on the 3rd, June 3rd at 6:33 p.m. So they put it out on 6/3 at 6:33. And that's not a coincidence. Archaeologists surprised by intriguing art drawn by Christian pilgrims 1,500 years ago. Recent archaeology excavations in Israel have revealed a rare find. Oh man, what is it? A rare find, they said. Early Christian art from around 1,500 years ago. Recent archaeological excavations in Israel have revealed a rare find. Oh, I just read that part. My bad. The Israel Antiquities Authority, IAA, announced the discovery in a Facebook post on May 23rd. The art was found in an ancient church in the city of Rahat, located in the northern Negev desert. So the IAA put it out in a Facebook post that they found this rare find. The church dates back to the Byzantine era. I wonder why that would be. Any idea why it would be dated back to the Byzantine era? Excuse me. That's because Jerusalem is Byzantium. That's where Byzantium was. We've proven it. Look at all the stuff I showed you about the Byzantium, that place. All those poems we read about from Yeats, the guy that wrote those poems about the two towers and stuff. And that's where I learned about Byzantium. Byzantium is an empire that was right there, right where that place is. That's why it's from the Byzantine era. And historians believe now notice the word. Notice how they like to slap people around. Watch this. The historians believe the wall art was crafted by pilgrims arriving from Gaza. Really? The art, mostly of boats, was drawn in the 6th century, which roughly marked the beginning of the early Middle Ages. These intriguing drawings may have been left by Christian pilgrims arriving by ships to the Gaza port. Their first inland stop was the Rahat Church, continuing from here to the other sites throughout the country. See, now that's all you need to hear, right? You heard it. They told you that it may have been. So you best just believe that that's the Holy Land, because they said what these guys said, right? And isn't it a coincidence that all the news and great finds, archaeological finds that we found over here in America, in Western America, that ain't nothing. All the Babylonian Chaldean stuff they found that I showed you guys that they found all around the Great Lakes, they dismissed it and said it was a hoax before they could even look at it. For sure, they said it's a hoax. All the stuff. They hide all the giant skeletons, all the stuff, all the pyramids and the mounds, and I mean everything. You guys need to wake the heck up right now. Seriously. Why would Israel, the IAA, have to put out this stupid ass article trying to persuade someone into thinking even more? Don't the world already believe that's where the Christians made their pilgrimage? Why do they need to keep pounding that drum? Well, I'll tell you why. Because they know what's coming. They know what's happening. They don't want you to find your true home. So while they are taking themselves out, not to lunch, they want to drag as many of you suckers down with them. And hey, I love you. Don't take this as me being mean to you. I love you. I'm saying this because I'm your brother. I'm trying to wake you up. And that's what brothers do. Do it to me. If you see me driving off of the cliff, please do warn me. Try to stop me. Even if I don't believe you, don't just let me get away without giving your all to prevent me from going off that cliff. That place, look at all the evidence. Like I said, we just read that in the Albert Pike's book where it says their plan is to destroy each other, right? And you're saying now, well, that's just Albert Pike's book. Okay, it is. That's just some book. You don't even know if that's a real book or not, right? But what's happening right now? Are you too, like everyone else, scratching your head and can't figure out why this stuff's going on? Why they just keep bombing indiscriminately over there? They'll come out and say, we're not going to do this. And the next day, bam, just crazy stuff. Crazy. They're doing it because that's the script. That's their plan. I'm not going to go back and read the rest of Albert Pike's book to you, but I mean, if you made it this far, you've probably read that before, and I've read it on here lots of times. But it's that last one you need to really focus on, and that last paragraph from that screenshot I just showed you of Albert Pike's book. The last paragraph's what you really need, but all of it. And when you read it all, you're going to understand what's going on here. Why all the WWs have happened. Now I want you to look at the drawings they said. Yep, look, this is it right there. That's what they found, guys. That says that's a drawing of a boat of Christian pilgrims that came there because that's the Holy Land, okay? It may be. They never do tell you for sure. They always make sure to say they believe it is. It could be, it may be. But what do they do with the evidence over here? It's a fraud. It's a hoax. What'd they say about what's it called? The Lost Deco Stone or whatever out in New Mexico where all the commandments are? That's a hoax. They thought someone pulled that big stone out there in the middle of nowhere and wrote that on there. 500-ton stone or whatever the heck it is. These people they've lost their mind, for real. Everything that I've shown you that's evidence, I've pretty much found, or you can find yourself, evidence of them hiding that evidence, going out of their way, and in a lot of cases, going through great lengths to hide that evidence. Now, why would that be? Why did we never get told all going through school growing up about the Spanish was looking for the fabled gold city, Columbus was looking for the city, and like what we learned about the Tajaglunk in the Montana historical papers? Why didn't we learn about them 6 cities out there? Why was George Washington known to the Indians as the city killer, the destroyer of cities? Why was that? What cities? You mean they actually had cities? Why don't we ever learn about Cahokia and stuff like, and I know the information's out there, obviously, yes. All the proof's out there, and you ain't no one safe from it. You can't hide from it. You can't hide from the face of the Most High. The truth is going to get you. She'll get you. But you're going to come to a brick wall sooner or later where you're going to realize that you've been running the wrong way, in the wrong direction. And it's so simple. It's not that hard to do to actually love the Most High. I mean, you say you do, right? Okay. Well, love, I shouldn't have to explain to you what love is. All right? But because we're in this time where relationships aren't built on loyalty and anymore, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many divorces nowadays, and just everybody's out for the come up and to make a profit, it seems like, and I'm not saying that there is no loyalty or nothing like that. There is out there, but it's hard, it's rare. And when it comes to living for the Most High, calling him whatever you want and celebrating whatever you want, that's not living for him. That's not. If you say you love your spouse and you cheat on them, you don't love them. You don't. Now, I ain't saying like you could have cheated on them and then you guys got over it and repented and then would never do that again, and you realize, you know, what it means to be loyal now and love them, and now you're committed, then yeah, that's different. But if you're someone that can just cheat and just do that whenever but look at how many people are in the world right now who would cheat, who probably cheat, but they firmly believe that they love the person they're cheating on. There ain't no way. It's like an oxymoron. That's not love, my friend. Not one bit. Now, I'm going to read this chapter 20 because I do love the Most High. And I know, like I said, I know that most people who hear what I'm talking about, no matter what facts I bring to the table, no matter what kind of case I bring, they're not going to listen to it. And there's the majority of the people, and I mean the overwhelming majority of the people, no matter what denomination or creed or background, faith they are, they're not gonna understand what I'm saying. They're gonna think this is the craziest thing that's ever been spoke. But if that's you, if you think that what I'm saying is crazy and that there's no way this could be the truth, there's no way that the message that the Lamb is, that you are to come, that the real place he placed his name has been hidden, and we've been given a counterfeit, and in the end we'd have to come to it, and that's following the Lamb. If you think that's crazy, okay, well, I would just have to tell you to go back here in Revelations to chapter 3, chapter 3. And it says in there that those who overcome sing a song, a renewed song that only they are able to learn. Only them. Nobody else. It's not a song. It is, but not the kind of song you're thinking of. This song, people, the rest of the world, they're never going to understand it. They're going to think it's crazy. That's just how it is. So, you got to remember that. You got to remember that this song, he tells us, he told us all through the word. He told us that people ain't going to listen to you. They're rebellious. They're hard-headed. They're stiff-necked. Am I lying to say that that's what the Most High's been saying through a lot of the word? Right? And that these people they esteem him with their lips, but their heart's far from him. They're adulterers, the whoring, all this stuff, man. You know the deal. So the majority, that's what they're doing. But what I'm doing is I'm esteeming him. I'm giving all esteem to Abba Yahuwah, the Most High, our wonderful Creator, our righteousness, regardless of what people think about it. I'm going to read this word, this chapter 20 right here. It's hard to understand, and there's a lot of it that I'm not gonna understand. But there's a lot of it. There's things in here in this chapter that are huge, that I am going to talk about right now, because I'm here to give all esteem and to break this word down with you and to yell at you, warn you, say, hey, my brother, my friend, my brother or my sister, there's a cliff right up here. Don't go that way. Just hold on. Turn it around. You're going the wrong direction. And when you say, screw me, buddy, and flip me off, I'm not going to stop. I can't stop. I can't stop warning you, because there's a cliff right there. Yeah, I don't care that you flip me off. You're just going to have to flip me off. And I saw a messenger coming down from the heaven, having the key to the pit of the deep and a great chain in his hand. I can tell you right now, we're not going to get into it, but the pit of the deep is the truth being hid. That's exactly what he's talking about. And he seized the dragon, the serpent of old, who is the devil and Satan, and bound him for 1,000 years. And he threw him into the pit of the deep and shut him up and set a seal on him, so that he should lead the nations no more astray until the 1,000 years were ended. And after that, he has to be released for a little while. Now, like I said, I'm not going to get into all this, like why that's happening, why the Most High is the one that calls the shots. I'm not even in the conversation with that pay grade. Okay, so I don't know why that's all why he would be released, all that stuff. I don't know, but I'm sure we'll figure it out if we keep searching. And I saw thrones, and they sat on them, and judgment was given to them, and the lives of those who had been beheaded because of the witness they bore to Yahusha, and because of the word of the Most High, and who did not worship the beast nor his image, and did not receive his mark upon their foreheads or upon their hands. Now, I can say this about what we just read, as far as people getting beheaded because they wouldn't worship his image and the beast. That has already happened. There has been things like the Inquisition and all those kind of things, and things we don't even know about. So we can't get hung up on whether that's happened before or not. We know it already has happened. And if it's going to happen now in these times, who knows? And they lived and reigned with the Messiah for 1,000 years. Oh, excuse me, did I miss some? Okay. So they refused to worship the beast. Now, in another way you can look at that too, is as beheaded, it doesn't necessarily, we know that most of this is riddle, that might not be literal too. I mean, it has literally happened, but like all the talk, how the Most High says, you'll be the head, not the tail. The head is being in Jerusalem, the power. That's why their head, that's why when it was talking about the beast, it says that they received a deadly head wound, because they were taken out. The head was taken out of Jerusalem. You see, they were no more the head of Yehuda and Yasharal. So that's probably what it's talking about here, about the beheading. And they did not receive his mark upon their foreheads. And we know what the mark upon their foreheads is. The mark upon their foreheads is the the name of the beast and the image of the beast and the man of lawlessness. It's that city and the man of lawlessness, which is the dragon, the beast, all of it, all together. We know that. And on their hands means that's what they work towards. That's what their whole life is about. And they lived and reigned with Messiah for 1,000 years. And the rest of the dead did not come to life until the 1,000 years were ended. This is the first resurrection. And I know the first resurrection, that doesn't have to be literal either. When you return back to your home, and that happened, people did return back to their home. back to the Jerusalem, to the place the Most High placed his name in the first Exodus. So I don't know. This book is deep, and there's levels to this for sure. Blessed and set apart is the one having part in the first resurrection. The second death possesses no authority over these, but they shall be priests of the mighty Most High and of Messiah, and shall reign with him for 1,000 years. And when the 1,000 years have ended, Satan shall be released from his prison, and he shall go out to lead the nations astray, which are on the four corners of the earth. This is the part I wanted to get to right here. He'll be released and shall go out and lead the nations astray, which are in the four corners of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together for battle, whose number is as the sand of the sea. Okay. This proves to you who I've been telling you Gog and Magog is. Is Satan gonna be released from that prison just to go out and lead Russia and China, or whoever you think Gog and Magog is, astray? To gather them together for this battle? Is that what you think? It ain't. Synagogue, Gog, it means the rooftop. And the prince, who Magog is, or Gog of Magog, Gog is the man of lawlessness, the anti-Messiah. And it explains that to you to a T in Ezekiel 38. It'll tell you. The enemy, Satan, leads astray with religion and all these crazy ideas that get you away from the Most High. That's what's happening. Whose number is as the sand of the sea. It's pretty much the whole world. It's the overwhelming population, like I said earlier. And they came up over the breadth of the earth and surrounded the camp of the set apart ones and the beloved city. The beloved city. Is it beloved to you? Is it on your forehead? Ain't you glad we've went through this Revelations and seen all these great insights? Most people I don't think I've ever heard people say that renewed Jerusalem would be written on someone's forehead before. But that's what the word says. That's what Revelations chapter 3, verse 12 says. Doesn't it? It does. And fire came down from the Most High out of the heaven and consumed them. So there's one more clue out of lots that proves to you the Most High is going to put a barrier, whatever it is, like a force field around the beloved city. That's how this end's going down. It's going to be around that, and everyone else is going capiche. And the devil who led them astray was thrown into the lake of fire and sulfur, where the beast and the false prophet are. And they shall be tortured day and night forever and ever. And I saw a great white throne and him who was sitting on it, from whose face the earth and the heaven fled away, and no place was found for them. And I saw the dead, small and great, standing before the throne, and books were opened. Books were opened. And another book was opened, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged from what was written in the books according to their works. That's what's happening, okay? You're not getting into the kingdom because you said some words. Or because, that's it. If you think your works are you said some words, but you ain't really had to follow the word at all, you just kept rocking out and with the Nicolaitans, which he hates, which is Christianity, which is deistic spirits, which is people who would flip you the bird if you tried to get them to get out of the boat. Do you see? That would flip you the bird if you were crying, begging them to please stop, not drive any further, there's a cliff ahead, that would say, you're crazy. Listen, you hear this guy? Crazy. This guy's insane. Ha 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 ha, and laugh. When I got no reason to lie to you. Got no reason. And I've put myself out here damn near every day and read the word and try to share this message with whoever will hear it. So look at the evidence on what my intentions might be. Would I just be messing with you and sitting here going through all the trouble I go through every day? And why would I lie to you that there's a cliff ahead? You should just take my word for it. At least check it out. Look into it before you just go driving off it. See what I'm saying? Don't laugh at me, because I'm trying to warn you not to drive off a cliff. So it says right there, over and over. And I mean, my gosh, read the word. They're going to get judged by their works. It was written in them books. By what's written in the Bible, the prophets. It's told us. It's laid the blueprint out on what we got to do. Them books are opened. Now, it's time. It's the time of battle, the day of battle. Now, it's time to do what you've been claiming that you were going to do, or that you do. And the sea gave up the dead who were in it, and death and Sheol gave up the dead who were in them, and they were judged each one according to his works. And death and Sheol were thrown into the lake of fire. This is the second death. And if anyone was not found written in the book of life, he was thrown into the lake of fire. And I'm telling you right now, you don't have to believe me, but the only way, the word tells us, the only way to get into that book of life is you got to come. You got to want. The name of Renewed Jerusalem has to be written on your forehead. That means you love the Most High. You want to come and dwell with him at his place. And the world is laughing at that, right? They think that's silly. So, well, we got 2 chapters left. Abba willing, I'll be back here to read them to you. Abba willing. I mean, I pray, I hope that you guys look into what I've been trying to show you. And don't refuse what I'm sharing with you guys because it's imperfect, or that's how it's got to be. This word ain't coming from those who tickle your ear. It's coming from a ninja who's karate kicking and chopping your ear.